This is one of the greatest pictures I have seen in terms of when I was studying something called as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and this really works. I'll be very honest. So everybody starts with a physiological need where you want to have the basic roti kapda makan and stuff like that. So you want to be there, and then reach to the safety stage where you have a family, you have a property, you have an employment, right? Stuff like that. Love and belonging. So you really want somebody as a partner, you want a family, friendship, intimacies and stuff like that. Then you reach a stage where you feel, okay, I should own a car, I should have a self-esteem, I should have somebody to respect. Probably you get into esteem, and finally very few, I mean, it's like the top 1% reach to the situation of self-actualization, where they become like something like you can think about the owners of very big organizations. Okay, so they just accept what they are. Okay, so they are very spontaneous, they love problem solving, they have a very strong morality, so they don't change things so easily, and they're highly creative, they lack prejudice. Okay, so these are the things to reach that nirvana stage, which I say in Maslow's. The reason why I'm putting this in the mental health part is, regardless of where we are, okay, somebody might be at esteem, somebody might be at love, belonging, but we always want to reach to the self-achievement. So if you get a promotion, you want another promotion. So this cycle keeps on increasing, but be happy with where you are and try to see how to go to the next level, instead of complaining like, okay, I just have this and stuff like that, right? So I hope this is making sense in terms of reaching to greater heights, right? Next, I think you might have seen a lot of those pictures if you've studied organizational behavior. So different views, same pictures you can see. So people can see shadows, people can see a lot of things, right? But people really feel sometimes they're not getting that understanding. Okay, what is this picture, for example, right? So people ask me like, tell me what is this picture. So I see, okay, there's a shadow, but there might be some other people saying like, no, this is, if you look, this is the pillar. Okay, so this is like a pillar, it's like a a place where it's like a building. Okay, so it's like a pillar. So everyone has a different view. It might be the same picture, or this could be something like some people standing here. You can see some people standing here, very silent, just like they have in big palaces and stuff like that. So everyone has a different view. It's an optical illusion, but I highly recommend to have a different mindset. So when you apply for jobs specifically, it happens, you get to think from others' point of view, and if you can really crack that, I can guarantee you can get that job. Same thing with this one. So if you see the middle picture continuously, the other pictures will stop rotating. But if you see one by one like this, so you will see all those things moving, right? So if you see this and you just concentrate on this, you will just see this one moving, but you will not see the others moving, right? So it's just a different viewpoint. Similarly, in mental health, what I feel is, you're thinking, okay, you're too much stress and stuff like that. But think about somebody who's a C-level employee, or let's say who's a CXO person, who is handling 50 employees. He's also at your same situation, but he's not getting at that trouble, right? So he's just like this. Okay, he's at the center, and he's just thinking, look, I'm in a cool situation. This is another example. So let's say you're trying to say the color of each word, though you're saying the first one is yellow, next is blue, orange and stuff like that. But in your mind, you're just thinking, when I say yellow, you're thinking, why is it green? Why is it not yellow? Okay, when you say blue, so automatically our mind, it takes that picture, that, okay, blue, why is it red? Okay, it should be blue color, right? So this is also the same thing in terms of mental health. The way you see things might not be exactly the same. It might have a different viewpoint. So whenever you feel you're stressed, maybe you're stressed, but let's say somebody else is also at your situation, they might not feel the stress, right? So that's the whole part of the specific colors, right? So just a little bit brief discussion, I just wanted to have on mental health. So before I talk about mental health, I'll just talk about to be in that situation is very important, because every day you do a lot of activities. I've seen people trying to become every day better by having a lot of coaching. They do a lot of training and stuff like that. They get a lot of mentors. I've had a lot of mentors in my career, so they do a lot of hard work to really work on that. So mental health is something, it's part of a successful mental activity, and it is a day-to-day maintenance. Just like you buy a fridge. Okay, so fridge is going to have a wear and tear. Similarly is your body. In the morning when you get up, you're not going to have 100% charge, just like your mobile phone. So it's up to you how you make your day. So you actually start to have a successful day every single day, right? So try to, work on around that, right? So whether it be your productivity in terms of daily activities, whether it be your fulfilling relationship with others, whether it is, adapting to change, coping with stresses, maintaining the abilities. So all these things comes under mental health. So it's up to you how you handle things. This is something I highly recommend. So I'm just going to show you some slides. I'm not going to read much, but these are just some things I think you should definitely see. First is like, you can see, like the teenagers specifically. So I have a lot of my cousins, they really get stressed, right? So there's no around to get away. Imagine, not going to school for 5 years or not going to college for 3 years. How would you feel? Same thing is there, because of the pandemic, so there's like a lot of stress at home. So I highly recommended them is like, just think about, all the good things which you have at home, right? You have the facility of, seeing your family every day. You have, let's say, internet connection. Okay, so you have all these things, all the facilities, already at your home. So while making any big decision or small decisions, don't let stress, be the reason behind it. Right, don't behave like a teenager. That's the whole aim in terms of, because I'm not saying, you're not going to be a child sometime, but don't try to be a teenager where you make those harsh decisions, which probably, will be something bad for the long term part, right? So this is highly I recommend. Next is, people ask me, so how do I take care of myself here? So, self care. So these are some things, I really like this, to do this. First is getting plenty of sleep. I know this is really tough if you're working in a corporate job, but try to get it as much as possible. I really like to do this. Being tidy and neat, I think this you already know, thanks to, the Prime Minister's campaign, which we have of cleanliness. Enjoying sunshine. So I've seen like a lot of people getting vitamin D deficiencies. That is really difficult, and it's not good. So try to enjoy sunshine. Read a lot of books. Cook. So I'm sure everyone has become a cook, right, by this time, in the pandemic, right? Read about people whose lives are more complicated. Okay, so this is something I feel most of the people don't do. But I really want you to see. Try to read, life struggles of Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and see, how Rani Lakshmi, all these people, got around with those things. Maybe, your life also might resonate. Write or draw, think out loud. So this is also something you do, mind map and stuff like that. Gardening. I mean, this is a great activity you could do, in terms of seeing the beautiful, flowers and stuff like that. Talking to yourself. I think most of the people really don't do that. I really do this. So talking to yourself and seeing yourself in mirror, asking you, okay, what are the things I can really improve into my life? Okay. Cuddling cats and dogs. So this is something, if you have a pet, I think most of the people really got a pet in pandemic. So this really hurts in terms of happiness. Getting hug, yes, get a hug from your near and dear ones. Walk or bike, especially in a park. So, taking a small walk, maybe on the terrace also really works, because you can't go to park sometimes. So, taking a ride on a bike, scooty, or even a car, it really works. And talking to selected people, because again, you don't want to talk, randomly to a lot of people. So this is something which really has impacted my life, and I highly recommend, to use this. I'm sure you're finding this very interesting, because you might have really implemented some of them, but I am sure there's a space for improvement, and I want you to, try some of them as well. Worrying about these pressures is normal, but feeling very sad, hopeless, or worthless might be a sign of mental health problem. Okay, so see, there's a difference between handling a little bit of pressure versus feeling yourself hopeless or worthless. Okay, so don't be in that situation where you feel, oh, I can't do this, I'm worthless, I'm hopeless, and stuff like that. So it's pretty normal if you have pressure. Everybody should have pressure. Right, and sometimes what happens is your brain stops working, so try not to get into mental illness, right? So that's important. And this is just basic things, like when it comes to your brain not working, so your thinking might get affected, perception, physical behavior, everything gets, affected. So make sure you're not trying to get it affected. And there's like a lot of symptoms you can have. I mean, these are the things you already know, but this is something to remind. You might have sleep problems, emotional issues, right? Thinking difficulties or problems. You're not trying to become a critical thinker, but sometimes you really need those kind of efforts. So sometimes you're not unable to do that. You don't know what to do with your life, basically, right? And then it leads to mental disorder, right? So try to see what are the things to improve. So like, most of the people, they ask me like, okay, Abhilekh, can you tell me like what are the causes of mental illness? Though I have it, but